So basically, okay. So there is some problem with Word. No issue. So we have seen Gauss elimination method as well as TDMM. Okay. So let's see what we have done. First is what we do, partial pivoting. Second step, we do upper triangular form. And then finally, I use back substitution to find solution. Just a moment. Lecture चालू शांत करा. Back substitution to find the solution. So these are basically a functionality. What I call it as a functions. So I am performing three functions to actually get the solutions. Okay. So what I can do, so I just create a new file. I label this as a gauss.html. Save. Okay. So basically, so I create a script first, and I label that functionality as Gauss LE. Okay. So I know to solve with the help of Gauss elimination method, I need coefficient matrix that I represented with the variable A, and then I need a constant matrix that I represent with the variable C. So A and C, if I am aware of, then I can use my Gauss elimination method and I can solve it. So this is what is my argument which is going to require. Okay, so this is what is the function. So basically, I just hit save and I'll try to run this. Where I have saved. Okay. Okay, so if I press F12 key, okay, Gauss area is not defined. Say why? Because it is a function. Okay, so I need to call this as a function. I am trying to call it without defining this. Now I just reload it. Okay, so everything is fine. Now if I go to console, what I can use this Gauss LE and I can pass on A and C. Okay, so once I pass on these values, I immediately get the whatever the solution I am going to have. Okay, so now first of all, how to assign a matrix C? So C equal to, so I just assign some matrix, okay, which already we might have solved. Okay, so 14, 11, 18. So this is what is the matrix if I want to assign 14, comma 11, comma 18. So I just verify again 14, 11, 18. So this was the matrix which I set it. Okay, so I assign in this way. So I could see the C matrix is assigned in this way. So I can just check what is C. I just type it, enter. So I get this is my C, 14, 11, 18. So now what about the coefficient matrix? So first row is 1, 3 and 10. Okay, so how do I go? A equal to, so I need to open two square brackets. So first outer square bracket represent matrix and the inner square bracket represent the row. So that row is 1, 3, 10. So 1, comma 3, comma 10. So this is my first row. Again I put comma to separate out the second row. Second row is 9, 1, 1. So I just put 9, 1, 1. And my third row would be 4, 12, 2. 4, 12 and 2. So in this way I can assign a two-dimensional array which I could see. Okay. So each comma separates the square bracket represents a separate row. So in this way I can assign the array, two-dimensional array as well as a one-dimensional array. So once that assignment is done, then I can use this Gauss LE function and just pass on the A, comma C, and then I can get the solution. So presently I haven't defined what the Gauss LE is going to do. Okay, once I define that, then I'm going to get the solution. So let's go step by step. So as already we have seen that these are the steps. First step is partial pivoting, second is the upper triangular, and third is the back substitution. Okay, and I can add one more step here in this case. That is to display the result. So I can display the result. Okay. So that is what I am going to do right now. First is so I call that function as pivot. Okay, so for pivoting what I require a coefficient matrix, I require a constant matrix. So once the pivoting is done, I get the pivoted system. Okay, so I'm just calling a function. I'm creating a function that I would like to have this. Then I would like to have upper triangular. So I label this as upper tri. Upper triangular. and for that also I need A and C. Okay. Then to get the back substitution, I'm going to require X matrix in which I am going to have a solution. So therefore, X I define as this like an empty array. Okay. So this is my array in which I am going to store all the solution. Now I can define one more function that is called as back substitution. So I just label it back. For that I require coefficient matrix, I require constant matrix, and of course I am going to get the solution matrix. So this is why I am passing the value of X. And finally let us say I create a display function which will display the solution. So this is basically a flow chart or steps what I am going to follow. Okay. So I'll be focusing only on small and small functions. So I'll not be taking as a one big program. So I'll be working with the only specific functionality. So I just say function pivot A comma C. So this is what I am going to do now, pivoting operation. Basically, so here I am writing what the pivoting is going to do. Okay. So to understand this logic, how the pivoting is going to work. So basically, so array starts from 0 0. So A0 0, A01, A02, A10, A11, A12. So A20, A21, A22. So this is my coefficient matrix. My variable matrix x1, x2, x3, and I have the constant matrix. So C0, C1 and C2. So I label this as a x0, x1 and x2. So that would be better. Okay. So what the pivoting means, basically I use this as a reference row R1. Then I compare these two values basically. Okay, so comparing row, I can call this as a C2. So this is what I am going to compare. So A00, A10. So if A10 is larger, so if I say A10 is larger, then of course A00, okay, then what we are going to do, we are going to shift this row at the first row, and the first row is going to come down to the second row. So that means what? I need to work with this column, exchange these two, then work with this column, exchange these two, then work with this column, exchange with these two, and then work with this column and exchange this. So this is what is the operation I have to do if this is what is the condition. Okay. So let's say we have done it. Okay, assume that we have done it. Now it's time to change the C2 to C3. So my comparing row becomes now C3. Against my reference row will be R1. Now I am going to compare this value and this value. Okay. So if A00 is smaller than A20, that means this is larger. So this need to go up. So same process I am going to repeat. So I am going to exchange these two, then I am going to exchange these two, I am going to exchange these two, and then I am going to exchange these two. So what I am trying to do, I am trying to send. So whichever is the bigger, I say go up. This is what I am trying to do. So by doing that, this diagonal element is the biggest one. So that is what happening. In this way, this is what I am doing the sorting. So this technique is called as bubble sort. So if you have understood this bubble sort, you can type U, please. If you have understood this, you can type U, please. Yeah, somebody asked me again. Fine, no issue. So let us have some only a column. Okay, so I just label it this as a 4, maybe this is as a 9, and let's say this is as a 10. Only we will think about this. Okay. Now what I want, that at this location it should be maximum. Okay, so this is what we are talking about. So how do I do it? So first I will compare this with this. Okay, so this is my R1, that is the reference row, and this is my comparing row. Okay, so when I try to compare this and this R and R, if I found that this 9 is greater than 4, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to swap these two values. Okay, so after swapping, what I'm going to do, I get 9, I get 4, 10. Now my still reference row remains the same. Okay, R1. But now this C2 will change. So the C2 was this previously, which is my operating row or comparing row. That becomes now C3. It will increment by 1. So this becomes C. Now I am going to compare this. Now if while comparing this is smaller and this is larger, then I am again going to have a swapping function. So here in this case it is smaller, so therefore I am going to swap. So what is going to happen? 10 is going to go up, 4 and 9 is going to come here. So this is how the swapping will take place. Okay, and what we see at the top is the maximum number. So same thing is happening with this, but I cannot swap only one column. I need to swap all the columns, and therefore so operation need to be done on each column. That is the only difference. Okay, so I hope you got this stuff. So Zogoekar was asking me the question. I hope you have got this. Okay, fine, thanks. So now same logic I will try to write in a code. Okay. Okay. So first of all, I need to see how the length I am going to get. So C dot length. Okay, 3. So if I type C dot length, I will get how many numbers are stored in particular array. So in this way I can get the size. Okay. So that size I will require first. So n, how many number of and columns are there? So that variable is n. So I say var n is equal to c dot length. Okay. So if I type the c dot length, just like here I have typed, I am going to get the how many elements are there. Okay. So once I got the number of rows and columns, now I'll start with the pivoting. Now what I do. So this R1, okay, this R1. So this 1 I represent with variable I, okay, because it is my reference row. So my reference row I represent with the help of I. And what is going to happen? C2 change, CT3 change. So these are my comparative row. So I will refer this with the K. So this is my K. Okay. So K represents my comparative row and I represents my reference row. Always I am going to compare I with the K value. Okay. So that is what I am going to do. So therefore, I start with for I is equal to 0, I less than n, because I am starting from 0, not 1. Okay. So I will go up to the n and then I say I plus plus. So I will not go up to the last. Okay. So if you see this, my reference row will become a last row. Okay. So R1, R will never go to R3. It will never go because there is no row below it for the comparison. Okay. It is always that the row which I am going to have a reference will be go up to second last row, because at least one row below it I needed for the comparison. So the value of R is going to start from the first row and it is going to up to second last row, but it will never become a last row, because if it become a last row, there is no row below it for the comparison. So C won't come in existence. So to have an existence of C, so this will be n minus 1. Okay. So if you have understood n minus 1, so just type n minus 1 please. Why reference row I am going up to n minus 1? So you can type, if you have understood, you can type n minus 1 please. Or if you have a question, you can ask. Okay. Now, this is what is there. I just open this. Okay. So I open a for. Now I have the reference row. Okay. Now I need the comparative row. So I need to compare. Okay. I with K. So therefore I should start for K equal to I plus 1. Now why K equal to I plus 1? If you see, if my reference row is 1, my comparative row will be always greater than 1. They both will never be equal. It is always greater than 1. So starting value is always greater than 1. So C will always start from 2. It will never start from 1. So it will be always greater than 1. So I am using a variable K for comparative, and therefore I am initializing with I plus 1. So it, with reference row, it has to be greater than 1 always, comma. Now it can go to last row. Comparative row is a last row. It can go. So therefore I am having a last value. You could see my comparative row, it is going last. So therefore I am going up to n. Okay. So that is why it is up to n, and this is 1 above it. So this is second last row. And of course, increment is by 1. So now I have both the rows. I have the reference row, I have the operating row or comparative row. So both the rows I have. Now it's time to compare whether they are greater or not. If the greater things occur, let's swap the rows with the first and the second. That is what is the task. So I just delete this one more time, okay. So I need to verify now. I have both the values now, A00. Just a moment. Then I have 10, 20, 01, 11, 21, 02, 12, and this is 22. Okay. So here I have the X matrix, X0, X1, X2. Here I have C0, C1, C2. Okay, so now I have the R1 and I have the C2. Okay, I will label this as with 0. And because I'm working with 0 and 1, so I label this as a C1. Okay, so I have both the indices. So this is referred by variable I, and this is referred by variable K. So I have the ith row as well as now kth row. So now it's time to compare these two values. Okay, so what I have to compare? I have to compare A10, okay, with A00. Okay, this is what I have to do, comparison. Okay, so now next time comparison, so this is the first time comparison you have to do. Second time comparison will be A20 with A00. So this is the second time comparison I have to do. If I observe carefully, this is my diagonal element. Okay, A00 is my diagonal element. And diagonal element will have its row as well as column indices same. Okay, so it doesn't make any difference if I call this as a AII, because I stands as a column as well as I stands as a row, and that is same for the diagonal element. Just a moment. Okay, so I can call this as a AII. Always I can call this as a AI because they are diagonal element, and I can use row and column indexes same. So now why I? Because this is I. Okay, so therefore this is the first row and the first column. Okay, so it is A00, so I is 0, it is represented by AII. So if this is clear to you, understand AII, you can type AII. If you understood that for A00 I can use AII, you can just type AII. Have you understood the concept of AII? So you can type AII if you have understood. Okay, great. Now next thing. Now if I think about these two numbers, okay, so this is now AII. Okay, and this is A10. Okay, A10. So A10 is this, and then A20 is this. So it is quite clear that while comparing, so whatever the column, so A0 column, okay, is the column of rest of the element. Okay, so इसका कॉलम अगर 0 है, okay, so देखो यहाँ पे, so this is 0, this is 0 because they are belongs to same column. Is this clear? So their column is same. So therefore, if I can call this as a AII, I can call this as A. First, I don't know. Second, I can say it is I. Second, it is I because column has to be same. So it is I. Okay. Now what about row? So row is defined by variable k. Okay. So if I want this, so for row I am using a variable k. So therefore this is A, K, I. So what I have to compare always? AII with AKI. Okay, this is what ultimately I have to do. Comparison, this is what I have to compare. So you can see, if I is 0, my K automatically becomes 1. Okay, so what is going to happen? This is A00 with A10. A00, I am not changing the value of reference row, okay, keeping I0 with, and now I am changing K, okay. So by changing the K, I get A20 because K was 1 previously. So this is K1, this is K2, okay. So you could see A00 is compared with A10 and A00 is compared with A20, and this is what we are trying to achieve. Okay, so for comparison I have to use AII with AKI. So whatever, how the K varies depending upon that value I am going to get. Okay, so this logic I am trying to put it here. So I put if, and I need to check absolute value. Okay, so therefore math dot abs of AII. Okay, so abs completed is smaller than math dot abs. So I am not bothered about sign. AKI. Okay, so if this condition is true, then what I have to do? I have to swap the second row with the first row. That is what is the operation I have to do. Okay, so next task is the changing the values of rows. Okay. So now if I see, so to change this, so that means now I need to swap this, then I need to swap this, then I need to swap this, then I need to swap this. But to go in this direction, I need one more variable, and that variable is now j. Okay, so this belongs to j equal to 0, this belongs to j equal to 1, this belongs to j equal to 2. So when ji varies from 0, 1 to 2, I can go horizontally. So okay, I can change the column, and one by one I can swap the values. Okay, so let's do it. First I'll try to write. If you don't understand, then again you can ask the question. Okay, so I start with j. So it will start from first column, it will go up to last column j plus plus. Okay. Now what I have to do? I have to exchange. Okay, so I create a temp variable, temp equal to a of I j. Okay, temp equal to a of I j. So remember, what did I say? I said temp equal to a I j. Okay. Now initially I is 0. Okay. So therefore I am going to get a 0 and j started with 0 also. So a 0 0. That means this value. Okay. So this is what the value I got as a temp. Then next what I do? I say a 0 0 is equal to a 1 0. Okay. So this is what I am trying to replace. So ये ऊपर जाके बैठ जाएगा. Okay. a 0 0 equal to a 1 0. ये ऊपर. So what happened? This value is now exchange. This value is exchange. ये ऊपर जाके बैठ गया. Okay. अभी नीचे का क्या है? उसको भी तो चेंज करना है ना. a1 0. This is the lower value. This has to be changed with the upper one, and upper one I stored in temp. So this is my temp. Okay. So what I did first, a0 0 I stored in temp. Okay. So I got a value of this number into a temp. Then what I do? I replace this with this value. So I replace a0 0 with the lower one, and the lower one I replace with the temp. So in this way what has happened, the two values have exchanged. Okay. So I hope you got the logic of exchange. So you can type EX if you have understood this now, exchange. You can type EX if you have understood. Okay. So let's write that then. Okay. Aij. So what temp equal to Aij. So j is 0. So Aij is equal to Akj. Okay. Because my one row below. That is what is the logic. Okay. So here in this case, I need to compare with this. So this is k. Okay. And therefore, this is here in this case kj. Okay. And finally, akj, okay, equal to 10. Okay. So what has happened now? If j is 0, the first column will be replaced. Okay. Just I go back. See, if my j value here in this case is 0, then this will be replaced. If I change to j to 1, this will be replaced. If I change j to 2, this will be replaced. So the j changes, the column, different column will get replaced. and that is what is happening here in this case. So ji starts with 0 and it keeps on varying it. So automatically the first row will be exchanged. Now it's time to change the constant. Okay. So constant matrix var, again I use temp, equal to C of I. C of I means C0 because I is 0. Okay. Okay. So var equal to temp Ci, and then I can say Ci. So it is a row number 1, constant matrix 1. Okay. So it's a first element. It has to be replaced with Ck because K is my operating row which I am comparing. And then finally Ck is equal to temp. Okay, in this way I could swap now these two values. Okay, so these two values will be swapped. These two. Okay, so this is Ci and this is Ck. So with the help of this I can swap now these two values. Okay, so that is what all about pivoting. So pivoting does nothing after this. Okay, now what about the rest of the thing? So I just delete this. We have written full logic. Now we'll try to explain. A00, A01, A02, and I just write here C0, A10, A11, A12, C1, A20, A21, A22, and I just write C2. Okay. So when I is equal to 0, my K becomes 1 and K becomes 2. This is what is the start. And what happens during this? I get this max. Okay, because here the exchange will take place between this and this, and then this and this. So similarly, this row or this row will be swapped or this row will be swapped. Okay, so top row will have this max value. Okay, that is done now. Now next thing is this we want to max it. So therefore now I will be incremented by I equal to 1. So what happens now? A00, A01, A02, A10, A11, A12, A20, A21, A22, and I have C0, C1, C2. So now this is done. Okay, I equal to 0. Now it's time to vary the value of I becomes 1, and now K becomes 2 because we know the relationship between I and K. K has to be greater than I by 1. That already I have said. So K equal to 1. So while comparing now, I am going to compare this with this. Okay. Again, if you see, this is 1, 1. Okay. So I can call this element as AI. Okay, because I is 1, so it is A11. So that is what already we have taken care that this element will be a diagonal element by 1, 1. And the next we will be having the same column, but the row will be K. Okay. So here in this case, what I am writing it? That I equal to 1, K equal to 2. So it's time to vary the value of I. So let us see. I was 0 initially. Now I change to I plus plus. I becomes 1. So as I becomes 1, K automatically initializes to 2. Okay, K automatically 1 plus 1 becomes 2. So I1, K2, and what comparison here is going to occur? A1, 1, because I is 1. And what is this? A2, 1, because K is 2 and I is 1. So it is A1, 1, A2, 1. So this is what is happening. A1, 1, A2, 1. So if that comparison falls to be true, then the exchange of whole column or a whole row will take place. This is what is the simplest logic. So if you have understood the logic of pivoting, you can type P please. Quickly, you can type P please if you have understood the logic. Or if you have a question, you can ask. Yeah, if you have understood, you can type P please, or else you can have the question please. Please respond. If you do not understand, just ask me a question. I'll explain again. Anyway, we are going to have upper triangular form. So the logic of upper triangular form is same as pivoting. The logic is same. So again, the same logic we are going to repeat. In pivoting, we exchange the row, whereas in upper triangular form, using same logic, we perform subtraction operation. That is the only difference. Okay, so same logic again we are going to repeat. But now let's see whether we are getting the correct answer or not. So I just do it this way. So upper is not defined, so I need to comment that. So this is not defined right now. I just comment this. Okay. Reload it. P Gauss value. Okay, so I can check now. Previously my A was this 9 1 this way. So it has changed now. Actually, it has done the pivoting. If you remember. Okay, so what was A 1 3 10 9 1 1 and 4 12 2. Okay, so if I see the pivoting operation has been performed successfully, you could see now 9. This has become. Okay, again I'll do it. So this is my A. Okay, so A is this 1 3 10 9 1 1 and 4 12 2. Then I'll have the C. Okay, C is 14 11 18. Okay, so now if I do Gauss Ellie, and if I check it, this array. So I just close and do it again. Okay, A, you could see 9. Okay, 9 has gone up, 4 1 and here 12. So automatically the pivoting operation has been performed. Similarly, if I see C, So C has changed 11, 18, 14. According to that, the changes also has happened in the matrix C also. Okay. So this is what is the logic. So we have learned POT. Next time we will go with the upper triangular form. So the logic is same logic is there, only we perform here, we exchange the rows and there we perform the subtraction operation. That is the difference. Once that is done, then the back substitution logic is very easy. Okay. So fine. So final time, if you understood the program, you can type U. Sorry, if you have understood the program, you can type U up till now. And okay, great. So if you understood this, this is the core of finite element method, what you are supposed to study. So you must be knowing all these programming concepts. Okay. So then only the finite element, computational fluid dynamics, all this stuff becomes a lot easier. Okay. So you can start leaving. My lecture is over. Thank you.